So I've been avoiding talking about this just because everyone's doing it, and it's a really pedantic thing, and I have actual work to do and stuff like that. But I'm just going to weigh in on this Game of Thrones thing real fast, because I don't think people were actually paying attention during the ending. I mean, you can go on for hours, days about all the stuff wrong with this last season, all the things that you would have done differently. Okay, that's fine. I'm just going to talk about one thing. This is just one thing that I am positive that the showrunners were not thinking all the way through. So, what is the most populous of the Seven Kingdoms? It's Highgarden, right? The Reach. Okay. So at the end of the show, Bronn is the Lord of the Reach. If you had to pick the most important sector of society in medieval life, would it not be whoever controls the most food? Well, that's Highgarden, right? That's the Reach. So Bronn is now the man in the Seven Kingdoms who controls the most food of, in the whole kingdom. He's the guy who controls all the food. Okay. If you had to pick the second most important position in a medieval society, what would it be? Well, if you were thinking it all the way through, you'd probably say either the military or, I don't know, finance. So by the end of the series, Bronn is also the man who controls the most people, right? The Reach is the most populous of the Seven Kingdoms. And he's also the master of coin. So one guy controls all of the food, all of the money, and the lion's share of the manpower in the Seven Kingdoms. And this character is a guy who, when asked if he would kill a baby without question, said his question would be, "How much will you pay me?" And this is now supposedly an elective monarchy, right? Bran the Broken, Jesus Christ, is in charge of the country. Tyrion is the hand of the king. What's his name? Davos is master of ships, which is an irrelevant title. Sam is like the archmaester, whatever. But Bronn is effectively king. What happens when... I mean, you don't even have to wait for Bran to die. It's like, okay, who owns all the food? Bronn. Who controls the country's finances? Bronn. Who has the largest military? It's going to be Bronn. And who is a ruthless psychopath who we know is only interested in his personal benefit? Oh, it's Bronn. So the conclusion of Game of Thrones, the culmination of 10 years of us watching this show, is that Jon Snow gets to go hang out with a bunch of redheads. A cripple is on the throne, so he's not going to have an heir. Tyrion is a glorified bureaucrat, right? A Mandarin working for the Iron Throne. And in 20 years, Bronn or his children are just going to end up running the Seven Kingdoms. They gave him all of the power, and every other part of the Seven Kingdoms has been depopulated by giant wars, hordes of the undead, all this stuff. So the message of Game of Thrones, the only thing to take from Game of Thrones, is that being an evil psychopath, an opportunistic douchebag, is not only does it not have no consequences, it means that eventually you end up running the civilized world. The entire message of the story is that being an unprincipled opportunist works.